Have you got more than $100 to spend this Christmas?
Looking for that great family gift?
We've got ideas for you. Hi, I'm Lorella, and this is Chris, my husband.
Welcome back.
We are here for part 2 of our gift ideas for homesteaders 2018. This is our version of suggestions that we have of items that cost more than $100.
And so these would make family gifts, or if your budget allows, and for someone special on your Christmas or holiday list.
Or if your husband is like my husband, gifts for himself.
Yeah, just go get it. You need it.
It saves me the time of shopping. I just go, well, in the last couple months you bought a new generator, so we'll just call that your Christmas gift. As we talk about several of these items, you'll see me looking at Chris to talk about them, because even though they might be things that I use or that were for me or that I wanted, he is our research guy. Chris is really good at going online and comparing this model and that model. What are the specs? What does it do? What do the reviews say? What do other YouTubers say? Let's see it in action. I remember on this one specifically, he watched videos just comparing how loud different generators were, because you know, in a situation where you're gonna have to be running it a long time right outside your door or right outside your tent where you're sleeping, you don't wanna have it be super noisy. So he's really good at that kind of stuff, so I will defer to him on many of these items that we're going to talk about today. That being said, let's get to it. Okay, what do you want to start with first, Chris?
Okay, one of the first things, though, we've already mentioned it a couple times. Let's talk about this generator. This is the Honda EU 2000i. It's an inverter generator. There's similar models out there. I think a good one's made by Yamaha. It's the blue one if you're looking on Amazon. The reason I chose this Honda, even though it is quite expensive, this one comes in at like right at $1,000, is first off, it just sips the gas. You can put gas, like I think it holds a gallon, roughly. Don't quote me on that, folks. You can look at the specs online. It holds about a gallon of gas, and it'll run for 8 hours.
That's a long time.
Yeah, so we have...
And that's constant putting out power?
Yeah.
Like if you're drawing on it? Okay.
Yeah, putting out power the whole time. We had one of the large, like 5,000 watt generators back in California, and I worked at a, what do they call it? Like a Sea to Summit, like a 100-mile race, right?
Right.
And the site where we were was like one of the checkpoints in the mountains, and so we set up the generator to have lights and everything, so as the runners came through we could see their numbers, check everyone in, make sure no one was missing, run radio and video equipment from point A to point B, and we had to keep gassing that thing up all night long. And I mean, we're dumping 5 gallons at a time in that thing,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we probably burned through 15 gallons of gas on that, where something small like this, while it doesn't produce as much power, if your power needs are low, it'll run all night on a single fill up.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So there are...
so you're going to save money in gasoline, even though you're going to pay a little bit more up front.
Well, you're going to pay a lot more up front, but part of that's the Honda name brand. Part of that is the Honda quality.
Okay.
You know, even other generator manufacturers, like I'm just going to throw it out, like Coleman or something.
Okay.
They say, they'll put a sticker on it that says Honda engine, right? The Honda small engines are known to be some of the best.
Right, sure.
The budget-minded person, however, may look at, I think I saw this week, Home Depot had what they call a Sportsman. It's a little bit smaller than this. I think they have a 1,000 model and a 2,000 model, which is about the same amount of power as this one. Right at $170, it was on sale. I think the regular price is a little over $200. So if you're looking to save some money and still look for something that's a decent quality, that would be the one I would recommend. If you got the money to burn, the Honda is by leaps and bounds ahead of the rest. There's even like adapter kits out there that'll let this run off of propane,
okay,
or natural gas.
Okay.
So it's a simple carburetor modification, and you can buy the kit and you just swap out the whole carb, and then you have like a regulator on the front.
Nice.
So that's why I recommend the Honda EU 2000i. as like a handy around the homestead generator. Power goes out. If you're off grid and need to run some equipment, you have it.
Okay, cool. I know our gas cans do not cost more than $100. I assume you put it up here because it's an accessory to the generator.
It is, and that reminded me of something I want to say. Anytime you're using fuel for small engines, use like a premium ethanol free.
And why is that?
The reason is the ethanol is an alcohol-based substance.
Right.
Well, alcohol is a derivative of sugars.
Okay.
And that will eventually gum up.
Oh, really?
And clog your carburetor in the small engines. So any small engine, four-wheeler, lawnmower, ethanol-free premium gas if you can get it. And so these gas cans are made by Scepter. They are the same contractor for the U.S. military, except the military ones have like a really big mouth. Mm-hmm. And then I added on these spouts here just to make them quick and easy to pour, and I don't have to mess with the EPA spout. Item number 2.
So I'm going to talk about the Omega juicer. It's the Omega Vert 350. I started to say 3500. It's 350. So one thing that we did is we found a website called discountjuicers.com, and on there's already videos made comparing this juicer versus that juicer, how easy is it to clean, all this kind of stuff, and that really helped us narrow down our choices. If you're in the market for a juicer, one thing that I would recommend is that you get a masticating juicer. So if you see like the Jack LaLanne juicers, or most of the ones that you can buy over the shelf at Walmart, they're what's called centrifugal. Centrifugal. How do you pronounce that word? Am I saying it right?
Centrifugal.
Centrifugal?
Centrifugal. I don't know.
Where it spins.
It sounds like a jet taking off.
Basically, you're putting the fruit in against a grater that spins really fast, and it's like that old ride at the fair where you'd stand like this, and it would spin you really fast, and you'd be like jammed against the wall, and the floor would drop out from under you, right? Did you ever do that one?
I think it was at that
like at the carnivals?
Tilt the Whirl or something like that.
Something like that.
I don't know.
That's the ride I never did because I get motion sick really easy. But it basically works the same principle. It's got a grater. It spins the fruit and it's like shh against that grater, and it juices it like that.
Yeah, just by making like small chips of the material, and then
the juice
whatever juice runs out by the spinning motion.
When you have that kind of a juicer, it's what they call a hot juice. It's and because of the ways, I don't know all the science behind it, but the nutrients die faster because it's been juiced that way. In a masticating juicer, which is what we have, it basically has a piece in it that grinds the fruit against the grater basket, and it's slower, and it's called masticating because that's what your teeth do. It's basically chewing the fruit up and pushing the juice out of it rather than spinning it really fast. And because of that, it's a cold pressed juice, and the juice can last longer. According to Omega, the maker of our juicer, the juice can store in the refrigerator for up to 3 days without losing too much of its nutrient content. But it's also a good quality. It's known it's going to last a long time. We've been using this one over 5 years now because I've lived here on the farm 4 years.
And we had it back in California
for quite a while.
Yeah.
And we juice on a pretty regular basis. We don't always eat the healthiest. You can see we like the bread and the pizzas, but we do try to get fresh juices in our diet on a regular basis. And
you can always feel an energy boost whenever you...
Oh yeah, we notice a difference right away. If we are going through a bout where we're particularly been sick or low energy or not sleeping well at night, one of the first things we do is go out and buy all our greens so we can start having fresh juice on a daily basis, and we know an immediate difference. Is there anything else that I need to say about the juicer?
It's got like the separate port for juice and pulp.
Right, pulp and juice come out separately. We are low pulp people. If you want your pulp in your juice, a lot of people go for a Vitamix. It makes more like a smoothie style rather than a juicing style. But as far as juicers go, we really like this one. Cleanup is pretty simple as well. It comes apart pretty easily.
Yep.
I think that's about all I need to say about it. I can't think of anything else.
I think that's plenty.
Okay. What's your next item?
All right, the next thing I want to talk about is going to be this right here. This is a Weston vacuum sealer, and this is kind of like a pro grade model. It'll take some really nice sized bags, and you can seal some stuff down. We use it to vacuum seal meat that we get butchered, or something that I've killed out in the woods, like a deer or whatever. And it's really nice to vacuum seal it, pop it in the deep freeze, and you're good to go. And then you're not dealing with that butcher paper to kind of, what's this again? You know, you can actually see through it, the clear bags. There's lots of different vacuum sealers out on the market. You may want to consider this one. There's other ones that are kind of popular and common, like Costco and other places like that have the food vacuum sealers as well. They come in all shapes and sizes. The one thing that I would just recommend you pay attention to is, can it take the biggest size bag that you think you'll need to vacuum seal something? And does it have the capability to vacuum seal with an accessory like jars and cans?
This one does that?
Yeah. We got like a little pipe and a hose, and it fits over the lid of the jar, and it vacuum seal like a ball jar.
Okay.
I purchased this one. I decided on this one because it's like commercial quality. It's like a really, durable, rugged, and I figured buy once and cry once.
Yeah, that tends to be your motto.
It works. We still have all this stuff that I've cried once over, but it's still with us.
That I cried once over. He never cried.
I don't cry. Boys don't cry.
I'm going to talk about our Epson EcoTank printer. Our printer prior to this one was a Brother printer, a laser printer, and it took toner cartridges. They were about this long. They cost about $45 each time we had to refill it.
Yeah.
And especially when we were homeschooling and I was trying to print off stuff a lot, I was burning through those. And it had 3 colors, red, yellow, blue. And if any one of those went out, it just stopped dead. And without warning almost. It was like, okay, we're done and we got to order it. And we don't live really near a Staples or Office Depot. So we had to order it and wait for it to come. And so we were doing it pretty regularly. So Chris was like, I'm done with this. We need this EcoTank stuff. And I went and I was like, okay, let's look this up. Oh, no. I can't see us investing that much money in this. And then he told me that the ink in it, the ink replacements are like $10. And I was like, well, how much ink are you gonna have to replace before it equals the cost of a printer? We went back and forth, and finally he just made the purchase. I cried once, but I'm so thankful because we've had this printer now almost 2 years, I'd say.
Yeah,
and
since I've been here.
We print stuff a lot.
Going on 3.
Yeah, right. And we print stuff very often, and we have just replaced our first ink in it this week. So you refill the ink here, and it actually holds liquid ink in this EcoTank. It's amazing how long it lasts. So this week, I purchased one of these boxes of $9 ink. The black ink was getting kind of low. It was still printing though. It didn't quit on us. It just got kind of fuzzy, and a warning came up that said check your ink levels. And this jar was full, and we squirted it in. It didn't take even the whole jar. Like, there's almost half. See if it feels about half to you. Maybe even more than half.
Yeah.
Left in here. So we're going to get maybe another 2 years before we have to use the rest of this. It's amazing. So it has well saved us money. And for a frugal person like me, like, it's a big gulp to like spend the money on the first time you buy it. But it's going to save you so much money in the long run. If you use a printer at all, it's really worth it.
Even if you're using like an inkjet printer that takes the little cartridges, those start about $20.
Do they?
And go up. I've seen some anywhere, they range from 20 to 40 depending on how much the company wants for them. And you pop them in and you get, a couple hundred pages printed, maybe, two packs of paper, and it's time to put in a new cartridge.
Yeah, we used a whole box of paper. We buy one of those big boxes at Staples, and we used it all, and we bought a second box a couple months ago. So we went through a whole box.
So what? That's like 5,000 sheets.
Something like that. I don't know, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot before we had to replace this. So it's definitely a money saver and a good thing to use if you need to do any printing at all on your Homestead.
Yep.
All right, you're up.
All right, next thing I want to talk about is tools here, power cordless tools. I bought most of these while I was in California and brought them with me. These are the DeWalt brand. There's, the Makitas and the the Milwaukees and all the others out there. They're all fairly decent. The one thing that I learned when I bought these tools was how much I liked impact drivers. If you've never used one of these to put in some screws, you're missing out. Because before, I would always take just the drill and chuck up a Phillips bit or whatever, and you know, you would strip it out, and you have to change the bit every so often. The drill is not the tool for screws, I have since learned. The tool for screws is this impact driver, and it just sinks them home every time. So,
and then when it does, when it hits all the way, it does something in here so it doesn't strip them.
Yeah, the clutch kicks in. So, they come in different shapes and sizes. This is the brushless with the 3-speed setting. And it's just, if you're going to only have one tool around the farm or homestead, something like this will help you build those chicken coops, you know, mend those fences, whatever you need to do with those types of things. And the cordless saw, the grinder, I've used every one of these tools within the last month on a pretty regular basis. So.
Yep, any kind of project we got going on. Another recommendation I would make is buy all the same brand because the batteries are interchangeable.
Yeah, well, there's some brands have like a 12 volt and an 18 volts or a 20 volt. So if you get all the 20 volts you buy into the system, you can buy the charger and the battery and the tool all in a kit, or you can buy what's called a bare tool, where all you get is the tool without a battery. And since you already have the battery and charger from your other devices, it saves you money and you have that interchangeability.
And something else I like about the DeWalt batteries is on the back of it, you push this button, it tells you what your battery life is left. So if you look at this and it's down to 2 or 1, you might want to bring an extra battery out with you for your project, or swap it out for a fresh one and put this one on the charger.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to talk about my baby that I keep in the box. I love it so much. Chris bought this for me one year for Christmas, or maybe my birthday. They're back to back, so if you plan on getting me something, you can combine both. It doesn't bother me. I know it bothers some people, but I'm fine with that. So every time after I use the ice cream maker, I pack it back up in the box the way that it came. So I'll just quickly get it out. This is the White Mountain electric ice cream maker. They have a hand crank model if you are off grid and you choose to do it that way. If you have several children in the family, you can just line them up, crank till their arm gets tired and pass it down.
That's how we did it when we were kids at Grandma's house.
That is right. And there were lots of grandkids to do it. I like this for several reasons. The reason we bought it, it was really highly recommended by other farmers, homesteaders that we knew. These motors have a good reputation of lasting a long time and not burning up.
She still got the hairnet on that one.
Every time, I'm telling you.
Once you're ready to prep ice cream, you
no,
just put the hairnet on.
Don't.
And you're ready to.
Your head. It's been on your head now. I put this away like this every time we use it.
She does. She takes really good care of her stuff.
I want it to last a long time. This is a 6-quart freezer, so you can make a lot of ice cream in here at one time. Slides in. And then this goes on top. This is the hardest part, is getting the top of the winder thingy inside of this. See, I'm really technical. The winder thingy and this. Chris probably has names for those.
Scraper and motor.
Scraper and motor. We have a long family tradition of having homemade ice cream at our gatherings, and this White Mountain ice cream maker has really been easy for me to use. It's easy to clean up, and it makes great ice cream. One other suggestion that I have for you as an add-on is a $6 Ben & Jerry's ice cream and dessert book. I use their basic vanilla recipe almost all the time, and it's easy. The recipes are short, not too many ingredients, and they're Ben & Jerry's, so you know they're yummy. I think you had one more thing out here.
All right. My last item is this right here.
Oh, yeah.
You've probably been wondering what it is. This is the WeBoost. This is just part of the package of a cell phone booster. So you have an external antenna. Ours is up on the roof. The wire comes down into the top of the unit. When it's powered on, you'll get 4 green lights saying you have signal and it's boosting it. And then out of the bottom, another wire to the indoor antenna. And now I just helped a friend install one of these in his house this month. And he told me it's the best money he ever spent. It is kind of pricey in the 500 plus range. But if you're living out in the country, you know as well as we do, cell phone coverage isn't always the best.
It's very spotty, especially if you live in what we describe as the holler in Missouri, which basically is down in a lowland in the bottom, or if you live in an earthbound house, or earth berm house, which a lot of people around here live in. You got that dirt, so you can't get good signal inside your house.
Yeah, the concrete slab all the way around. Yeah,
right. So there's lots of situations, or if you're just far from a tower, where you don't have good cell phone signal.
Like our house is a metal house, so that blocks the signal.
Right.
So, you know, any of those factors, you have the outside antenna that's mounted high, pointed towards the cell tower. It brings the signal in, it's amplified through the amplifier, and then you got LTE or more bars, whatever.
We used to not be able to take phone calls in our own home, and we don't have a telephone line run from the telephone company to our home. So once we were in our house, the only thing we had was Wi-Fi because we use my mom's Wi-Fi.
Yep. They come in different powers based on the square footage of your home.
Oh, okay.
So this is like one of the higher end ones.
Right.
So if you have a smaller home, you know, 2,000 square foot or less, then you could step down to like a lower model and save a little bit of money there.
Right. So it's worth it. If you think of what you're going to save, if you had a phone bill every month, I don't even know what they run
like
now.
$45.
Right. So in 10 months, you've spent $450. And how long are you going to have a phone? Forever. So over the course of 5 years, 10 years, how much will you have spent on your phone bill? So if you compare that to the cost of this, it's really nothing. And we were paying a cell phone bill anyway, so there was no additional bill. There's no monthly service to this.
Yes, there's no monthly charge. Just buy once and cry once.
It's a device. It's not a service.
Yep.
How many times are you going to say that this video?
Everyone's going to be using it after I say it.
You want to say it once more?
Buy once, cry once.
Right. So buy the best thing you can afford at the time, so that it will last the longest. But don't be an impulse buyer and not do your homework. So if you have something that you've been looking at for your homestead, and you're thinking, I'm not sure if I should get this model or that model, if you want to reach out to us in the comments, Chris might not like this, but I'm going to volunteer him to kind of help you out, help you make a decision about which thing you should get. If you're looking at a couple different generators, one thing that Chris is really good at is he can ask you the right questions. So that he can help you make an informed decision. He's not going to say, oh, you definitely need that one just right off the bat. He's going to say, well, you know, what are you using it for? How often do you expect to use it? Things like that. So if you already know those types of answers, go ahead and put that in with your question.
And post some links to the items that you're considering for yourself or your family members this holiday season. And share what you're shopping for with the rest of us.
Right. And what else do you think we should have in our homestead gift ideas that are over $100? Is there something we're missing that you're thinking about getting this year? Let us know.
Okay. It's that moment. What's on your wish list for over $100?
Oh, I know what it is. But it's not exactly a homestead thing.
And?
It's the Canon M50 camera.
Oh, she wants that Canon M50.
I want to up my YouTube quality, my YouTube videos a little bit. And to be honest though, I don't usually have items on my radar that are pricier just because I like to say I'm frugal. Other people might say skinflint, cheapskate, tightwad, things of that nature.
I may or may not have used any of those words.
I didn't mean him specifically. I'm just saying I have a hard time opening my wallet up and putting that cash down. I'm not like, all right, everybody, let's spend some dough today.
And we buy that cheese block at the store, she's cutting the cheddar thin.
That's so it'll melt on the burgers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna ask. What's on your wish list for this Christmas that's over $100?
Zero-turn mower. Or another gun.
That hurts.
I'm good for guns. Any gun.
I didn't know we were going in the over 1,000 range.
Under 1,000, over 100 and under 1,000. I'd say probably. That was just to kind of wish for any one thing. It'd probably be a new pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like flashlights, you never have enough.
Can never have enough.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We are looking forward to your comments and interacting with you and hearing what you think about our items. Do you think these are things that people need on a homestead or don't need? Well, I guess not many of them would be needs, but a lot of them would be wants. You can live without ice cream, but I don't know why you would want to. Thanks for watching, and
we'll see you next time. The Rooster Crows.
Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. Bye, everyone. Have you got more than $100 to spend this year on Christmas? We've got some gift ideas for you.
Wait, let me get in on that.
Okay, what do you want to say?
You do what you just said, but then let me chime in and then you say, we got gift ideas for you.
Okay. Have you been saving up so that you can buy a family gift?
Oh, that was what I was going to say.
Oh, man.
You just repeat what you just said.
Laser, something like that. And it took these long spool type looking things that you had to put in
the toner.
Toner cartridges, right?
Now do you want to start over and say all that like you knew it?
I can.
Do something.
You want to do something else?
No. On the ending. It's all good.
Do you want me to go back and do something else?
No. No, we're good.
Okay. Because I don't mind. Mr. Yuck It Up.